So these are the key elements of what a lead magnet is supposed to have. And this is applicable in a lot of different levels. And we're going to break that down together. So to have a good lead magnet, you need to have a hook. Okay. And what I mean by a hook is you need to provide or some type of um, you need to preface the information you're giving if you're trying to get people to sign up to your website with a home evaluation. And I have an example after this slide here. You need to be able to word that in a way that connects with the people you're looking to connect with. Are you looking to connect with people in a specific city who have owned their home in for a specific amount of time? You need to speak to the people that you're trying to actually speak to and not be too broad, because when you're too broad when marketing, your message is not impactful. But when you specify exactly who you're looking for with your marketing efforts, it's going to resonate, it's going to have a much bigger impact in that crowd or that demographic that you're sending the message to. And it's much easier to hook people when you're speaking directly to them. Okay. So if you're looking to hook homes owners, you want to have a farm maybe, and you want to be the most popular agent in the area, you're talking to sellers in a specific area. You can narrow it down to how long they've owned the property, what's going on in that neighborhood, are values going up over time, are values going down over time. So formulate some kind of hook. Again, we're going to see this in the next slide. I just want to explain what this means. Formulate your marketing strategy in a way that speaks directly to that person and piques their interest. Obviously, you can have the hook to get people to click on whatever it is you're trying to offer them, which again could be that market report. It could be that search alert. It could be that home evaluation. Once they click on it, you need to be able to deliver. Okay, there's plenty of videos people click on every day on YouTube or other platforms. Once you get to the video, you realize, oh yeah, this is not actually something I want to invest time in, or I'm not interested in this because it lacks value. So once you hook people, you need to give them some type of value, give them what they came for. Okay, so this builds, returning customers, if you will, or people who will keep tuning into your emails or your content or turn them into subscribers or followers. So provide exactly what it is you promised in the hook. So for home evaluations, for search alerts, and for market reports, this can be easily done because your website does all of the work for you. So putting a lot of emphasis in the hook is going to be extremely vital, because that does this is where you're going to put in most of the work, and then the value is already taken care of by your website. Within a few clicks, this happens without even you doing anything. Your website will do the rest for you. And when I say website, I mean the KV Core website. Story. Story is not all lead magnets need to have a story or an FTC. I'm going to get to the FTC right now. When I say story, when you're sending out emails to cold leads, or people you want to turn from cold leads into actual, clients that you want to work with, marketing yourself in a way that just provides a lot of facts. This is what's going on in the market. Things have raised up by this much, or things declined by this much, is very factual based information, which is great. But most people tune off very quickly when you're all numbers and all, you know, facts here and there. But when you turn your marketing strategy a factual from factually based to story based, I know this quote. I read it somewhere. I think it says facts tell, but stories sell. And I can't remember if I put an example in the slide here, but formulating your marketing strategy in, a story format, telling people about a certain time you were helping someone else buy a property that didn't know they could, but the story panned out in a way where the person actually was able to buy the property, and you can discuss what programs they use or what misconceptions the person has. People will read through the story, and usually it has a much um, higher close rate or much higher engagement rate than just providing generic information to people. And last but not least here, the FTC is this stands for false time constraint. So you can do all of this stuff, but sometimes, depending on the situation, there could be a program in a city that doesn't last too long. So when you have a good hook, if you sell your property or if you buy a property in this state, um, you are able to get X amount of benefits, but hurry up, it's going to be done in, 2 months. So you can add a false time constraint, or in this instance, a true time constraint to create a sense of urgency so that people do not miss out on certain things. So you can also add that within, whatever email or marketing campaign you have going on. Okay, so this is what a lead magnet is made of. Make sure you have a good hook to hook people and make them interested and talk to the right person. Make sure you provide what it is you're actually mentioning in the hook. For the examples here we have, there's many more types of content you can put out there, but these three are the easiest ones that you have available to you through KV Core. And maybe at some point in the future, we'll talk about different types of um, lead magnets beyond these three. But right here is going to be the main ingredients you will need every time you send something out. Okay, so lead magnet examples. So this right here is three different examples for the three different marketing strategies we have. So let's go back here. So usually what happens when agents send out some type of search alert on social media, it'll look something like this. Okay, click here to see the latest listings on the market, or click here to get a free home evaluation today. Click here to get a free market report of your area, which is fine. It says exactly what it is you're providing. But when you send out messages like this, you are basically you're telling people what to do. And most often than not, you may get some clicks, but you're not utilizing, you're not turning these into lead magnets. And I'm going to show you what a great hook would look like, transforming these three examples into other ways of formulating that. So if we go to the next slide here. So instead of saying, click here to get, I think we have some feedback. Welcome, Beth. Nice to see you. I'm gonna go ahead and mute your mic if you forgot to mute it. There we go. So instead of saying click here to get the latest listings on the market, you can rephrase that into I found the cheapest homes in Torrance. Check them out below. So already we're hitting a few keywords here. We know exactly the demographic we're looking for, people looking to move into Torrance, and price is always going to matter to any buyer or seller. Okay, so having cheapest in there is automatically going to make people think maybe I might be able to afford something. These are the cheapest homes in this area. Let me see what they go for. So already just rephrasing your marketing strategy can have a really, really big impact when it comes to when it comes time to actually oops, we've got more people joining. 1 second. All right. Welcome, Claudia. Nice to see you. Yeah, so there's a huge transformation here, okay? At least I think. So instead of phrasing things in a very generic way, spend the extra time, figure out who you're talking to, add as many keywords that might resonate with the demographic you're trying to talk to, and transform it into a great hook, okay? Another example right here. Click here to get a free home evaluation today. This is something, KV Core will automatically do for you, or you might send out an email, or you might send a postcard or a flyer out there with this on there. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with generic hooks, but with the same amount of effort, or money you're spending to send out those marketing material, just changing how you phrase things to best communicate with the demographic you're trying to communicate to. You can change the phrasing. So for this one, it could be, if you've owned your property before 2021, you're probably sitting on a lot of equity. Click below to find out for free. Okay, already we're providing so much more material, context, and keywords that might resonate with a lot of people. So everyone wants to know how much money how much equity they have. Everyone wants to know what their home might sell for at any given point. But when you see generic um, text like this, you probably see this every other day, and you just zoom past it. But if you word it a different way, again, it's going to have a much higher turnover ratio, if you will, or much higher engagement rate. Many more people clicking just because of the optics, the way it looks, the way it resonates with them. And the very last example here, click here to get a free market report of your area, which is fine, but you can transform that into, did you know your neighbors can affect your equity? Click below to get free weekly reports. Okay, knowing that your neighbor sold their home, we all know as agents, anything that sells around your area that looks like your property will affect the value of your property. That's how we do CMAs or property valuations. But just rephrasing it in a way that communicates directly, to the demographic we're trying to talk to, will yield us much higher clicks, much higher engagement. And yeah, this is basically the recipe to have just these little subtle things when you're sending out emails or sending out flyers can make a big difference. Okay.